Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. What a beautiful day. What a beautiful day we have today. Today is day 3 of working with the 4 directions and the ancestors in the Love Mastery game. And today we are working with the West. And so let's call in the West. We'll call in the South as well. Welcome, South. From yesterday, hold us so sweetly in sacred space together. We're so grateful. Opening our hearts and opening our minds and bringing us into connection with one another. We welcome you, South. And of course, we welcome our ancestors as well to be with us. Okay, now we call in the West. We welcome the West. Thank you for showing us the beauty way. Thank you for showing us that everything in life that we experience is beautiful in some way, shape, or form. It's all beautiful. It might take us a little time to find the beauty in some things that happen, and there is beauty in medicine in that thing that happened. Remember, we talked about medicine. There's beauty in medicine in that thing that's happening. So, thank you, Wes, for showing us, for revealing to us what is the beauty and the medicine in this thing that's happening. What's the medicine of it? How can I take this medicine into myself? How can I receive it? And let it empower me. Let it inspire me. Let it teach me. Let it expand me and grow me. How can I do that with everything that happens in my life? How can everything be a blessing? Even the things that hurt the most. How can those things be a blessing? That's what we turn to the West for. And we also ask the West to help us to let go. Let go of all that doesn't serve with ease and grace. Not that slow, protracted, resistant struggle letting go. The kind where you thought you let go and then you really didn't because you're really still holding on to the thing and you won't, and you just keep telling the same story over and over. This is me, for 20 years on a psychotherapist couch was me. Like, I can't let it go. I can't let it go. This story that I'm telling is like so addictive. I have to keep telling it. And when we work with the beauty way, when we work with the West, what we look for is the root. We want to get down underneath the surface of the pattern, underneath the sort of layer of pattern that's got us all tangled up in some reality that's a struggle. And we want to get under it, deep into the subconscious. And we want to look for that root where it first started. We want to find that place, that decision, that belief, that ancestral pattern, that past life karma, that whatever it is. We want to get deep under and find the root of it and bring it up to the surface and say, here's this thing. This has medicine for me. This is here to teach me. And as we do that, as we really go and find the root where it all started and we bring it up and we take a look, we usually find out something extremely beautiful about ourselves, about another person, about life, something that's so tender and precious and meaningful that it becomes beautiful, even as it may still hurt. It may cause grief. It may cause some anger, even. And yet, when we really sit with this thing, this seed that we found, and we really explore it, we go, oh, this was here for me the whole time. So I'll tell you one vulnerable story. About 5 years ago, almost, my dad passed away. And I love my dad. Even as I'm telling you, the tears want to come up. I'll just take a moment for that. Love him so much. So special to me. Maybe you have somebody like that in your life that you lost. Look the beauty that just got created. Like, I don't even have to tell you the story. That right there was beautiful. Just thinking of my dad that passed away and how much I love him and I miss him. Even that is beautiful because look, it just created tenderness inside of me that now you're invited to engage in. And maybe if you lost somebody too, we're connected now. We're connected in this shared experience of having lost somebody who meant a lot, and that tenderness of that experience, and that heart opening experience. So, is it painful that my dad left? Yeah, it is. I miss him. I love him. I don't know that I'll ever stop crying when I talk about him when he's left. I mean, I don't always talk about him and cry, but today I did. And that's the thing about grief, right? You never know when it's going to come up. But in the grief is also tenderness. In the grief is also connection and beauty. And that love that I have for him is so powerful that it opens my heart every time. Now, that is a huge gift in my life, and huge gift for me as someone that can connect with others to open up their hearts and the beautiful things that they're experiencing that feel like grief and feel like anger and feel like resentment or sadness. So this is what the West does for us. The West opens our hearts. And in my programs, the West is associated with water, the element of water, and water is associated with feelings. And so the West can often open up our hearts with big feelings for things that are going on in our lives that maybe we've been repressing how we feel about it because we've got to go, and do, and just stay on track and don't get diverted and keep running from the thing under the surface that is actually causing all the patterns in our lives. When we slow down with the West, when we actually look down under the subconscious and we look and find the root of the thing, we find some beauty. And that beauty sets us free from the tangled mess we were talking about. It kind of loosens that tangle and it starts to dissipate because we don't need to run from it anymore because we can embrace it. So that's the power of the West. We'll be working a lot more with the West for like a whole week in the upcoming course, Sacred Living with the 4 directions. We'll be working with the West. And if you join the Inner Medicine program, we work with the West for 6 weeks, which you can imagine how much exploration you can do to reveal the beauty of your life that you've maybe been running from. And you can come back and catch it and bring it up and take a look at it and heal. And so I invite you to also explore that. Okay, but for today, get your sheet of paper and the first question, this is the sheet that's available, the inquiry sheet. You can download it and print it out. The first line says, I desire help with this inquiry today. So just write down, what do you desire help with? Okay. To my aid comes the West, who offer me medicine. What's the medicine that you've heard from everything I said that the West offers you? And I can read you what it says on the Major Allies sheet, which you can also get this, the Major Allies. The West. The winds of the West help us to have the wisdom to know what things should be released and what things to expand. The West can help us to see more deeply into our shadow and let go with grace and ease. And now close your eyes and just feel into a number between 1 and 12. And when you have that number, that's your mastery being states. What are the being states of being that you are mastering having? And we have grateful, open and curious, aware. There's 12 of these on this sheet, and like I said, I always have this issue. I'm going to try to do my best. There. Woo, I got it. So look for your number. and write that down on the state of being line. Okay. And then close your eyes and receive a number from 1 to 12. Again, Mastery Being states, I'm going to hold this up for you. You can also get your own printout and write down the Mastery Being state, or the Mastery principle that you're working with. Okay, now we're going to take a short meditation with the West. You have your inquiry, you have the West and the West medicine, you have your state of being, and the principle of mastery. Close your eyes and imagine that we're in a forest, surrounded by a ring of old oak trees, the wise ones, the ancient ones, with their thick trunks, and their roots stretching deep into the earth underneath us, their branches reaching high overhead. And feeling the West enter the circle and listening for your answer. And the West is all about healing as well. So as I shake my rattle, if there's any uncomfortable feelings that you have around this inquiry, just let them all shake into the ground and be released into earth. The West is also about expansion. And so notice the West helping you to expand the light inside all the spaces where the things were released. And so letting the West expand the light, expand the healing. Yeah, and you might even have energy release, and sometimes people cough. Sometimes people cry. Thank you, West. What a beautiful ally, the West. Work with the West today, all day long, and see what messages the West can give you today. What situations come into your awareness today? What emotions rise to the surface? What insights come to you today, unexpected, that explain so much? Work with the West today. And remember, you can also come work with us in the Sacred Living with the Four Directions class that starts very soon in the middle of May for this current version. And if you're watching this well after the middle of May 2022, you can check in to the website and you'll find the course there as well. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning. We'll be working with the North, and we'll be learning some about our essential self and working with Hummingbird. See you tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Central, in the Love Mastery game. Bye for now.